Hi YouTube, how are we all doing? Well, it's another little glorious day. Nice afternoon. Thought I'd get the bike out for a little spin. So last week we went to Derbyshire again, Peak District. I'm sure the guys who've looked at our Griff and Jones touring Facebook page and Griff and Jones touring group, you'll see that we were out in Derbyshire last week. We had a good day out. Video is to come. So I'm currently working on the video. And it's just some beautiful scenery on that one, so stick around and stay tuned for that. Today's just a little ride out. I say it's not getting a chance to get out on the bike much at the moment. He says 3 weeks in a row, but it's nice to be out. You know, it's with a lot of the restrictions, I can't do usual routes in Wales, etc. Unfortunately, we're not allowed into Wales at the moment. Even if you live there, you can only do 5 mile. So it's and there have been stories of people being fined if they cross the border. So we don't want that now, do we? But yeah. So today I just decided I'm on my own today. Ray's not with me. It's just a very quick ride out. For any of you guys out there, I've got a BMW. I don't know if anyone else has come across this problem, but the Nav 7 is an absolute nightmare when you've got Cardo Packtalk or another DMC stroke Bluetooth device attached to it, because as you've probably seen in our previous touring videos, the GPS instructions override everything. Now some people might be saying that's a good idea. Some people might say, well actually, you should be listening to GPS coordinates. If you get lost, you know where you're going. Well, that's all very well and good, but when you've got a communication kit at that vital point when you need to speak to another rider who's with you in the group, you will lose all communication. All the DMC goes to override for the GPS. Now, I've been on all different forums. Some people say you can change the priorities. I've even been in touch with Cardo. You can sort of override it, but you'll still lose the communication to a degree, where you set up what you call audio streaming. It's like seamless streaming, but the GPS still overrides it. So I've been in contact with Cardo. They've basically said if it's a GPS connected, it will override everything, which I think is a bit silly sometimes, because you know, you need to be talking to your party of people you're with. You know, whether there's 1 of you, 2 of you, 6 of you, I don't know. There's a vital point if you need to turn left. Now, we all know sat-navs choose different routes, even with GPX files, forcing it to go certain ways. It'll still sometimes choose a different route. The end destination's still the same, obviously, but it does change the routes a little bit. Now, Ray's got a TomTom, and you know, all said and done, the mapping build is a little bit different to what it is on the Garmin, which operates the BMW system. So I've been looking at ways of how can I disconnect the GPS instruction, but without losing the phone options, because it is handy if a phone call comes through. Not that I encourage anyone to talk on the phone while riding, however, you know, for emergencies it is handy. If you take it off, you lose the functionality of the phone option and any media options on the Nav, on the Nav 6. Still got the phone information on the Cardo, which is fine. That's not an issue. I'm happy with that. It'll still be used, but then you lose all your instructions. So I disconnected the GPS completely, so unpaired it from the device, which then buggered up my phone. So I had to unpair the phone and reconnect the phone to the GPS. Cardo suggested doing a full factory reset, however when I reconnected it worked fine. What I did do, after going through some various menus on the Nav 6, I discovered where the Bluetooth settings are for the GPS functionality. There's an option to take out phone and navigation. Now I'm hoping that will cut out all navigation options to the Cardo, which means it won't interfere with the DMC com kit. I'm just hoping that's the case, so the next time I'm at Row we'll try that, and if that is right, it means I'm not messing around taking away the GPS and the Cardo functionality from the sat nav. I can just press a button and put it back into place. It's as easy as putting a tip box in. What I have noticed is when you turn your Cardo off and turn it back on, it does automatically reconnect to GPS anyway, and all the functionality is back as it was beforehand. So that's also an option. So I don't know if anyone else has had any problems. If anyone else has figured a way out to reprioritise it, let me know. Please let the Cardo community know, because nobody knows. Everyone I've spoken to, priority, you can change priority of everything else, but GPS functionality overrides everything, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. And as I say, it is a nightmare especially because at the moment we like the idea of GPX routes. We can plan both routes in. Ray uses a couple of different softwares. Ties to Travel is one of them he likes using. So you can actually, when you're on tour, you don't necessarily want to follow the route that the sat nav takes. You look at the road you want to go on and follow those routes. You have a look at Google, have a look at Google Man if it's available. Google Street View, and see where you go from there. And sometimes you pick the nicest routes. There are occasions the sat nav will pick better routes by pure accident, which again is fantastic. But if I've got the sat nav running with the same destination as Ray has, if I use GPS coordinates, which again is a good idea rather than addresses, the minute we get to a junction, so say for argument's sake we've got two little roundabouts coming up. My sat nav's telling me to go left, his sat nav's saying going left the next junction, which is just over the roundabouts here. It could take it two separate ways. Might meet up again in 5 or 10 minutes, but it will take us on different routes. And I don't particularly like that, because at that vital point where you need to know what your fellow rider's doing, you lose all contact. Now, if you're in a foreign country, that can be quite dangerous. It's very easy to get split up sometimes in traffic. Very, very easy to get split up. And I'm not a great lover of the fact of losing a com kit. Sometimes I do it in, Ray does a lot of, because he's doing GPX files, he puts a lot of waypoints in to try and force both sat navs to go in the right direction, which is fair enough. The problem is, it also cuts out the communication. So we'll be having a conversation about something, or he'll ask me a question, it'll just completely cut out the communication kit. Now, to me, that is ridiculous. These Cardo Packtalk, the Packtalk Bold, the duo I've got, it was a lot of money. And Ray's got the standard Packtalk, which we've married up, so it's on full DMC. My wife's got one, so my wife comes out as well. Then three of us can have a three-way conversation, which is great. We've got a few other guys who come riding with us from time to time. They've also got Packtalk, so it's a case of just pairing them up. It's a quick option, but they are fantastic when they work, and sometimes they do work brilliantly. There are occasions where they don't, and as you've seen on our Romanian tour, there were occasions where that happened. But it's technology, and all said and done, the old Bluetooth system we had was amazing up until about 60 mile an hour. Then you lost everything. Now, majority of European roads and the roads that we go on have the national speed limit, you're doing 60. Forget it, you couldn't hear anything. So these things, we've been on the motorways in Europe, which are, as you know, are all 130 kilometres, 80 mile an hour, 81, and it's crystal clear. So you can quite happily sit all day at 80 and still talk. So the Cardos do have that advantages. They are, DMC, this dynamic mesh communication is a lot better, and I'm sure it will improve. I'm hoping Cardo will take note of things like GPS instructions and actually give you the option to change the priority, because I think it's ridiculous. So I think I should give you that option. Anyway folks, it's a lovely day. I'm going to do a little bit of riding. Thank you for joining me. You know, you guys have been, you know, watching the series for the last 12 months will know I've had this new bike now for, well, just over 12 months now. We've not done much riding in this year, purely because of, you know, COVID-19. Sadly, we've not been able to get out, but it is nice to get out on the bike finally. But you'll all know when I first got the bike I had a couple of miles on the clock. I've now got 8,401. Fair bit of mileage. Is that Bandit? I think it is. They're good bikes then. I used to have one of them. Mine was at 06 place. A nice bike it was. Got a picture of it somewhere, I'll have to dig it out. Oh, it is nice to be out on the bike. My wife's in work currently, so thought I'd take advantage and get on the bike. I've done my chores. I mean, we've got a big trip planned next year to Norway. We're hoping that's going to go ahead. We did have something bigger planned for next year. However, under the current issues we've had around the world, we've put that on hold. But I'm not telling you what it's going to be, because it's a surprise. So this big thing is going to happen in 2022, hopefully. But next year we are. In 2021 we're doing Norway. We're going up as far as Norcap, so stay tuned for that one. That should be happening if all goes well and everything settles down with current issues we have. Be nice actually. Be nice to see. So what's happening? We're hoping the camping trips are still going to go ahead. We did have one booked for Scotland a couple of weeks ago. Sadly that didn't happen. We had one booked at the end, actually, funny enough, this weekend. If you're watching Mick, we should have been away on holiday with you, shouldn't we? Camping in Gloucester this weekend, so sadly that hasn't happened. We got a camping trip booked end of August with Motorrev guys, so if you're watching Craig, I haven't forgotten about that. So let's, fingers crossed, let's hope that goes ahead. I know sadly they had to cancel their Elan Valley one. I'm absolutely gutted for the boys, because you know, it's, look at the weather they've had, it would have been amazing for them. So I am gutted, lads. Let's hope the next one comes off for you, eh? You know, and other than that, it's well, hopefully we're slowly starting to get back to the new normal, as they call it, the new norm. Yeah, but it's hard out there at the moment, guys. Anyway, turned into a grumpy little bugger. So let's enjoy these roads, eh? So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all coping okay out there. And we, you know, I'm sure it's not just myself who hasn't been putting videos up for a while. We all apologise for not doing too much. You know, we couldn't get out. You know, and it's. I tried to do a couple of passes on from Romania, just extended videos. But the problem is, a lot of people have seen that, so I know some people liked it, some people didn't, because they'd already seen it. You know, I think an uncut version of a road for an hour and a half is, not everybody has got an hour and a half to spare. I mean, I'm always conscious of how long the videos are, you know. I think on a normal everyday sort of little ride out, I don't want to be doing it for more than 20 minutes, half an hour, because I'm frightened that people aren't going to watch it, you know. Tour series is different. I've taken a lot of advice off, you know, you subscribers over the years. who have God, it used to be a nice house and they've knocked it down, and they're going to be quite a pretty penny then. Sorry, I digress. So yeah, you know, taking advice off you guys, and a lot of you, I remember from when we did the Spanish series, actually the Croatian series, going back to then, 2016. I remember some people saying the videos weren't long enough, and they were 40 minutes long, you know. So what I did with the Spanish one in 17, I decided to trial 1 or 2 2-hour-long episodes. Some of the comments I got back were brilliant, just nice length, you know. So moving forward, any sort of big tour series, unless I've got no footage to show you, the average that I'll be looking at is about an hour an episode. If it's really nice episodes, you know, and there's some good stuff in there, and I don't really want to lose anything, it might be just over an hour. But you know, from the feedback I got from the Romanian tour is people actually like the hour-long episode, so brill. I shall continue that on. But I think for an everyday little video like today, with me waffling all kinds of shite, I probably think 20 minutes to half an hour is enough. You'll end up putting me off before then. But yeah. Anyway, said this before, let's go and do a little bit of riding, eh? But it was only a quick episode, just to sort of check in with everybody, make sure everyone's alright. So, but it's good to get out.